So North London is red, and there was never really much doubt about it, was there? This is the Arsenal versus Tottenham match review. Hello, my name is Rishi. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, the Positive Arsenal channel. In this video, I'm going to look back on yesterday's exciting 2-1 victory here in the North London derby. I'm going to look at the team lineup, so I'm going to analyse the performance, and I'm going to select a man of the match. But before I get into all that, I want to make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you're new here, you like some positive Arsenal content, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner there. Please give this video a like as well if you enjoy it. Please share the content around. And if you've got any comments at all to make about the performance yesterday, about Arsenal in general, please drop me in the comments box. I do try to reply to as many as I can. So of course the team news was dominated, wasn't it, by the absence of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, club captain, dropped down to the bench following what Mikel Arteta described as disciplinary issues breaking matchday protocol. We believe it's because he was late arriving at the meet, and it's not the first time that he's done that. If that's the case, then you've got to applaud Mikel Arteta for that. Such a big game. Obviously Aubameyang's such an important player, so he's got to stand by his principles. He's got to send out a message to the rest of the squad. So I'm applauding Mikel Arteta for that, even though it appeared as though it was a bad decision in terms of the team on the day. There was in fact another 2 changes from the side that had beaten Olympiacos in Greece 3 days earlier. So this is how we lined up there. It was Bernd Leno in goal. Cedric came back in at right back. I expected he would for the Premier League game. The other 3 defenders were the same as in Greece. So it's David Luiz and Gabriel, the 2 centre backs, and of course Kieran Tierney at left back. Midfield was the same as well, with Xhaka and Partey starting to build up, I believe, quite a good understanding in that midfield area. And then in the front 3, Saka was on the right again. Odegaard kept his place at number 10. It was Smith Rowe that came in on the left-hand side. A little bit of a surprise there, actually, although it did turn out to be a really good decision. I say up front, it was Alexander Lacazette replacing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who was on the bench. For Tottenham, they made 6 changes from their Europa League victory on Thursday. So they lined up as expected, actually, in a 4-2-3-1 formation. So it was Lloris in goal, their back four was Doherty at right back, Sanchez and Alderweireld as the centre backs, and Reguilón at left back. The 2 in midfield were Holberg and Ndombele. The 3 just in front there were Bale, Son and Lucas Moura, and of course Harry Kane with 11 North London derby goals up front. So they were your team lineups for this game. Well, that first half performance was probably the best of Mikel Arteta's reign at the club. Certainly up there with some of the best performances that we've seen. You know, the game against Chelsea back last year and Manchester United as well. And of course, a recent game away at Leicester and at Wolves as well. So this was a top quality first half performance from Arsenal. Right from the start of the game, we were on the front foot. We were targeting, of course, their weakness, which was their right side, their right back area. Doherty in particular, not the best defensively. He's not the quickest. We exploited that really well with Tierney and with Smith Rowe. We were constantly getting to the byline, pulling balls back into the box. We just didn't have anybody really attacking it. That was the only downside for me. Lacazette wasn't prepared to get onto the end of things, and the midfield wasn't making them late runs into the box. And that was the one thing that was missing from the performance. And then, of course, somehow we managed to find ourselves behind, didn't we, just after half an hour. Of course, Son had to go off with a tight hamstring. His replacement, Eric Lamela, came on, and with virtually his first touch, scored a Rabona from about 15 yards, shot low into the bottom corner of the net, gave Bernd Leno no chance. You've got to hold your hands up and say what a great piece of skill that was, what a great goal in a match like this. But it was totally undeserved from Spurs. I don't think anybody could argue with that. And it was now going to be interesting to see how we would respond. Well, it was a brilliant response, wasn't it? We just carried on playing the way we'd been playing. And the important thing for me was that we managed to get a goal back before half time. I think going in 1-0 down in the first half that we'd dominated, that would have been a very difficult situation for us to be in. But luckily we did get the equaliser right in the final minute of the first half. Again, it was down our left-hand side where the danger happened. Kieran Tierney again easily outpaced Doherty got to the byline, pulled the ball back to the penalty spot, and this time there was a midfield player arriving. It was Odegaard, and although he didn't maybe get hold of his shot as he would have liked, it deflected off all the Alderweireld and went into the far corner of the net. It was no more than we deserved. We'd hit the woodwork twice in that first half. Emil Smith-Rowe with a great shot from the edge of the box, and then Cedric Suarez coming forward hit a shot from about 20 yards that smacked against the outside of the post. So there's no denying that the least we deserved was to be 1-1 at half time, probably even 2 or 3 goals up. The second half was always going to be slightly more difficult, wasn't it? We had to make a substitution. Bukayo Saka had a tight hamstring and he had to go off, and Nicolas Pepe came on. And it was always going to be difficult to maintain that intensity for the full 90 minutes. That's the problem that we've got. That's the problem that we've had most of this season. But we did start the second half pretty well, and we did manage to get ourselves the opportunity to go in front. A lot of controversy over the penalty, but you can understand why it was given. It was a good ball actually from Pepe, put Lacazette in. He had a good first touch, but he actually took an air shot as he was about to smash the ball into the net, and Sanchez, who was coming across the block, clattered into him. And yes, you could say that the opportunity to score had gone when Lacazette missed the ball, but I don't think that you can really have any complaints. When you look at some of the penalties we've had given against us, particularly the one by David Luiz at Wolves a few weeks ago, you can understand why this was a penalty. Yes, you'd probably be a little bit annoyed if it was against your club. The debate's just gone on in the media since the penalty has been ridiculous, really. It was a penalty. That's the only thing that matters. And even if there's a doubt about it, it makes it all the sweeter from our point of view, I guess. Anyway, Lacazette it was who stepped up and confidently put the penalty into the bottom corner of the net, sent Lloris the wrong way to give us the lead. And once again, we turned around a deficit at the Emirates here against Tottenham. It's happened many, many times over the years, and it's always good to see. We looked in total control at this stage of the game. It's just a matter of if we could score any more goals and really rub salt into their wounds. But then the game seemed to turn, actually, with about 15 minutes to go. Eric Lamela had an interesting game, didn't he? He'd already been booked. He then put his arm into the face of Kieran Tierney, and referee Michael Oliver showed him a second yellow card and he was off. Tottenham down to 10 men. Of course, my initial thought was, this is great. We can just see this game out nice and comfortably now and possibly add a third goal. But straight away, we seemed to get nervous. Gabriel immediately kicked the ball straight out for a throw when he had several options on. Thomas Partey then put the ball out for a corner under no pressure whatsoever. And suddenly, Tottenham got a lift from that. Tottenham maybe sensed their nervousness, and to be fair to them, they put in a real bombardment on our goal in those final 10 minutes. Harry Kane, of course, headed in a free kick that was disallowed quite rightly for offside. He was probably 2 yards offside. And then right at the very end, of course, that free kick from Kane, which came back off the post. Leno's positioning wasn't great, was it? But luckily, we got saved by the post. And then a follow-up from Sanchez was brilliantly headed off the line by Gabriel to ensure that we did win this game. And the last 10 minutes have maybe clouded the performance. I thought for 65, 70 minutes, we were brilliant in this game. Really good performance. Man to man, we were just fantastic. Much better team. And then for some reason, we just went to pieces completely at the end and we were hanging on. But luckily, we managed to get the result. And I guess that's the important thing. The gap is now just 4 points to Tottenham. We're back in with a shout now. And we've got a big game, of course, next week against West Ham, who are in one of those top 6 positions, aren't they? So the fact that we held on in this game could be the thing that really turns our season. So man of the match, then it's going to be a difficult choice because there were so many good individual performances in this game, wasn't there, throughout the team. Just to pick one out of that is going to be quite difficult. But this is what this video is about. So I'm going to select a man of the match. I mean, if you start with Leno in goal, couldn't have any chance with the goal that Tottenham scored, could he? Completely unsighted, unexpected, that sort of finish. So you can't really blame him for that. He looked pretty solid throughout, really. Didn't have a lot to do, did he? I think Tottenham only had 2 shots on target in the whole game. His positioning on that free kick at the end was a bit iffy, but we got away with that one. I thought the back four were pretty good. Again, we wasn't put under massive pressure until the end, were we? I thought Cedric was decent at right back. I thought Tierney was brilliant at left back, wasn't he? Got forward really well, created the first goal. And I thought the 2 centre backs, David Luiz and Gabriel, were both brilliant as well. I thought they both put in a great shift, looked really solid and dominated their battles for most of the game. I thought the 2 in midfield, actually, Xhaka and Partey, I think they both had decent games, actually. Partey, again, maybe tired a bit towards the end, made a few mistakes, but up until then, I thought he was good. I thought Xhaka had one of his good games as well. One of several good games he's had recently, actually. I thought he really dominated that midfield. Really good game from him. And then the 3 just in front. Saka, maybe, I said, he's been looking tired the last few games. He didn't have a massive impact in that first half, and you don't know how much that hamstring hamstring was bothering him. I think he does need a rest from the team. I'll be surprised if he plays on Thursday. I thought Smith Rowe came in on the left-hand side. I thought he was brilliant, actually. A little bit concerning I was when it was him that was put in there, not a natural left-sided player, but he was absolutely brilliant. He ran that area, ran that channel really well, had so much quality as well. Absolutely brilliant performance from him. And then Lacazette up front, I felt as though he didn't really get in the game as much as we would have liked. He was dropping deep, as you expect him to do, but of course he did take his penalty really well. He won the penalty as well, so he had a big impact on the result. But for me, the man of the match has to go to Martin Odegaard. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Not only did he get the goal, the important equaliser just for half time, I thought his all-round performance was fantastic. Every time he had the ball, it looked like something was going to happen. And also he worked really hard for the team, tackling back, winning the ball back on several occasions. It was almost a complete number 10 performance from him, wasn't it? So for me, the man of the match in this game, Martin Odegaard. So a massive victory at the end of the day. That's what we needed to do. We've closed the gap on Tottenham, I say, to 4 points. The top 6 is now suddenly really close. We're back in with a shout, aren't we? I say that this game against West Ham coming up this week is really important now. If we can get another victory there, it's really going to put us in a great position to push on and have a strong finish to the season. I say the top 6 is there now for the taking. If we'd lost this game, I think that was it all over, and it would have been everything thrown into the Europa League. But I do feel as though the Premier League now is still important. We can still have a good finish, and I think this shows again that we can compete with the teams above us in the table. Another victory against the team ahead of us. We've done that a few times this season. We've had some good results against the big teams. Sometimes we've maybe let ourselves down against some of the other teams further down the table. So there's something we need to put right. There was a lot of positives from this performance. I've been a critic of Arteta in recent months because I didn't feel as though we were getting anywhere. We were going backwards. But you can see over the last few weeks, the performances are improving. We are being a little bit more clinical in front of goal. We're still missing far too many opportunities. We're still not taking enough risks in the penalty area, but we're getting there. We're starting to score a few more goals. We're certainly creating a lot more chances. And of course, the main thing is we're scoring more goals and picking up more victories. And that's what we've got to keep doing now between now and the end of the season. Thursday's an opportunity to maybe rest a few players. We've got a decent lead in that game. And then I say throw a stronger team maybe into the game against West Ham next weekend. But we'll see what happens with all that. But for me, yesterday was a fantastic performance against Tottenham. Fully deserved victory. In fact, the only disappointment was that we didn't win a lot more comfortably, because we certainly deserved it. So that's my review there of the victory against Tottenham yesterday. Fantastic day it was. Fantastic victory in the end and a great performance. Coming up on the channel, I've got a load of stuff this week. Obviously, we're heading towards the Europa League game on Thursday. I'll be doing a preview video of that game on Wednesday, and I'll be doing a live watch along as well. I'm also hoping to maybe get them Olympiacos fans back on from Gate 7 International, maybe speak to them perhaps in the build up to the game as well again, get their thoughts on the first leg and what they're making of the second leg, what they give themselves any chance of getting through, bearing in mind what happened last year. So that's all coming up as well. And then of course we'll be heading towards the weekend and the big Premier League games, as I say, against West Ham. I'll be doing the usual show on Friday. I'm hoping to get a West Ham fan on to go through all that as well, so that'll be good. And then another watch along and another fan cam reaction show. So it's busy stuff on the channel, loads of stuff coming up. Thanks for your support, thanks for watching. I say stay tuned, loads of good stuff coming up. If you haven't done so, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner there. It is free, it does help the channel reach a larger audience. Give it a like as well if you've enjoyed this video. I say thanks for your support, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Another big week for Arsenal, isn't it? But as we said at the beginning, North London is red, as it always has been. Come on, you Gunners!